What is up everyone, it's Sirdeathvids. Today I'm going to be coming at you with another painting tutorial. This one will be for Gretchins. Now, this Gretchin came off of my Storm Boys set, my actual first Orc set, my second Warhammer set altogether, but I didn't even use him on a guy, which he's supposed to go on the rocket pack. On the rocket pack, sorry, not the back. Well, it is the back, but anyways. But I also have this extra base as well that came with the set. And the only problem is that he would lean back a whole bunch. So what I quickly did was look through my parts bin, and I found something that might work. And I found these stick bombs in my parts bin. And I don't know if you notice here, but if you put him on, it looks like he'll stand perfectly, or pretty much perfectly. So I think what I'm going to do is glue this onto the base, and then glue him onto the stick bombs. He'll just be standing on it. It actually makes sense because he's holding a stick bomb as well. So here he is, the glued Gretchin. The glue's not dried yet, but what we're going to do first is we're going to do the skin. Better not. Oh, he was falling over. Yikes. Okay, so I'll just hold this for a little bit, but we're going to do the skin. For a base, we're probably going to be using Warboss Green. So for the skin, as I said before, I'm using Warboss Green. And I'm actually thinning my paints now compared to my first tutorial, which is probably good. And you just want to take your Warboss Green, which coincidentally is on a Gretchin, and just put this thin coat of paint over all the skin areas that you think needs it. Try not to get it on his teeth, but if you do, it's no big deal. And if you primed in black like me, you may have to do another coat, just because you're using thin coats and it could bleed through. You can see here I've done one layer. I'll let it dry. I'll do a second layer, and then I'll show you the next step, which will most likely be doing the lead belcher for the backpack. After you have your two thin skin base coats, you want to use lead belcher for the rocket pack and the stick bombs. So pretty much any metal, and this color usually works. Well, it works with every army. So I know I have a lot on my brush here, but I think I can spread it out because it's fairly thin. So yeah, I just brush it over. Okay, I actually put too much, as you can see. So I'll take a paper towel and just dab it off. Try not to get on the skin, but if you do, since it's just the base coat, you can cover it up fairly easily. If we have the skin base coat, we have the main metal parts, and then next I think we're probably going to do like the wrappings up his legs for like his pants, and then also his shirt, which is just rags. For the wrappings on his legs, I am using Rakarth Flesh because I want to take it from like a darker color like black to a lighter one like a dirty white. Just brush it over as you've done before. Try not to get in the skin areas, but if you do, since it's the base coat, it doesn't really matter. Can't do all the areas, that's fine too. Just do all the areas that you can actually see. So after this dries, you want to do another thin coat because the white or the black's still bleeding through the white, and then we'll get on to more clothing items. For his pants, we are going to be using Gorthor Brown. Paint it and try and not get it all over your wrappings. And if you do try and smudge it off, then it'll just look dirty. We're going to do what little of the shirt you can see. But first, we should probably do his little cap there, and then he'll hopefully look a little bit better. For the Gretchin's little hat, I'm using Mournfang Brown. Probably do his teeth the same color as his wrappings, just to bring it up from black as well. I have his teeth, he still looks fairly ugly. Hopefully I can still improve him though. I've decided that for his shirt, which is rags, sort of, I'm using Mechanicus Standard Gray. I sort of thought that the Orcs wouldn't supply the Gretchins with that good of equipment, and maybe since there's so many of them, they wouldn't dress them up in their clan colors. So this is actually quite a bit smaller area to paint, and there will be belts and things that'll go on top of this. And next we are going to do the goggles. What we want to use for the frames, that's our Abaddon black here. Mine is spilled quite a few times. And then for the actual lenses we want to use this Hoeth blue. So with the Abaddon black, you want a very little amount of paint on your brush. And you want a fine brush as well. Okay, I accidentally filled in one of the lenses, but hopefully I can save it. I'll just let it dry. You want a small amount of Hoeth blue on your brush. And then you just want to try and paint just the lenses without getting it all over your frame. He's wearing little goggles now. They aren't perfect, but they're better than nothing. I actually like the frames better now. Looks like he's actually wearing some kind of goggles. Now that makes me want to paint the straps. For this I'll be using Rhinox hide, so you can really tell now that he's wearing goggles, instead of them being attached by nothing, which I suppose is good. Okay, so you can see his two little straps there. And then, now we should start on gold. We will actually be using two colors to paint all the gold items, or like the metal things that we will paint gold. So yeah, Balthazar gold, and also Hashut copper. And then we're going to do the handle of the stick bomb and make it look sort of like wood. I am painting the stick on the stick bomb dryad bark. I did just a little bit for the handle, and that seems to be all that I need, because his hand isn't formed like perfectly. So yeah, that's the handle. And now what we should do is the fingernails. I will look for Ushabti bone for them. Just run it over all his claws and you should be good. So now he has painted fingernails and toenails. They're not perfect, but hopefully when we add the shade, as I said, it'll look better. Now we are starting to paint more little details. So like this rocket that he has on the back of his rocket pack. I'm thinking I want to make the skull of that red, because red goes faster. It's not perfect, but we can excuse that this time because an orc painted it. For the spike here of the missile part on the backpack, I'm using Averland Sunset. On the other one, I'm going to be putting some Macagri blue, this stuff. So you can see now that both of those spikes on the top of the rocket, so they're each their own color. And then I also finished up the rocket that's on the pack there, and so now the tip it's like a copper color, the shaft of it is yellow, the fins are blue, and the skull is red, with corn red. And I'm also going to use corn red for the fins on the back. Don't worry about this being messy again. You can justify this because orcs painted it, so it doesn't matter. That looks kind of cool now, the red fins. This is actually coming together quite well. We're going to do this bag here, like the little cloth that covers the stick bombs on the ground. I've decided on a color for the stick bomb bag. I'm using Bugman's Glow. You don't have to worry if you get it all over your base. You're going to be covering that with flocking and dirt and stuff. After that dries, I guess we're going to start applying washes. So the first will be for the skin. I'll look for one right now. For a shade, I'm using Coelia Camo Shade. So you can see this is what he's going to look like with that first skin shade on. We'll wait until it dries, and then we'll put on Agrax Earth Shade, do the base, and then we'll be finished. Now that that shade is dry, we're going to take Agrax Earth Shade for the final shade. Okay, so this is what our model is going to look like with the shade on it. And after this is dried, we're just going to put on the basing material, and we'll be done this tutorial. Pretty much all the shade is dry, so now we're going to do the base. I'm just doing this very simply, so I'm taking a little bit of water, and I'll take a little bit of glue here. I'll just combine them together, And we'll mix them with this same brush that we used for the shade, and then we're just going to apply it on the base. What I like to do is keep the edges sort of black on my things. I don't know why, I just like it, so I might have to do fixing up later, but for the sake of getting this tutorial out, I'll just leave it. So your base is all covered with glue, and then what you want to do is take your sand, and then you'll also have some static grass. I'd say start with the sand, sprinkle on some, maybe about half your base sand, sprinkle on a little bit of static grass as well where you want it, shake it off, do a little bit more sand because you want that sandy emphasis, and then yeah, you're going to get sand on your table, but that's fine. Then this is our finished model. I think it looks kind of cool. I don't know about you guys, but I actually like this. It's way better than it was before. The paint was way thicker. But yeah, this was a really fun model to paint, and I had a lot of fun making this video. So, thank you everyone so much for watching this painting tutorial, and I will see you in my next video, which is tomorrow. Goodbye!